Okay, I just have to record the video because I'm losing sun. And if you guys see my YouTube banner, I've got the C.S. Lewis quote in front of these um shadows from the shades, and I'm losing it, and I really want the look. So, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tyler. I'm so happy you guys came back to watch another video. I hope you enjoyed the first video. I apologize because I know it was kind of a little bit scatterbrained. It was just all over the place, but I hope you really got to see my heart and really hear kind of my overall desire for this channel and what that is. So in today's video, I actually wanted to, one, apologize because I was going to do these weekly, and then I thought I'll cut myself some slack, do every other week, and I think we're about a month since the first video. So sorry about that. Honestly, we sold our house and we moved in with my mom and dad, and then the school that we're going to finally opened up housing for us, and so we've been moving all of our stuff in, trying to get settled, and doing all of that with two kids and downsizing from a house to an apartment is a lot. So we've been crazy busy, but God gave us just the extra energy and the strength, and also just tremendous support from so many very kind people who came and helped us get unpacked, which was awesome. So yeah, we're here, we're settled, and we're just so excited. Classes start in a week and a half, and I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about go a little more in depth about why we're doing this. I touched on it in the video, but I wanted to give a little bit more background into it. So if you're not aware of what's going on, my wife and I decided to completely do a 180 in our life. I was 4.5 years into an IT system administrator job, and my wife is a stay-at-home mom to our two little kiddos, and we decided to sell our house, for me to quit my job, and for us to just pursue God, to pursue the Bible, because that's what we felt God was calling us to do. And so we're here. It's been a crazy, crazy couple of months. My attitude has basically done a 180 since deciding to do this, which has been just so beautiful to watch happen. It's been so cool to see God just work every single day, just guide us and just kind of get that reassurance day in and day out that, like, this is what I have for you. This is what you're supposed to be doing. So I want to talk on that, because to most people, to almost everyone, it sounds a little bit nuts to, especially in today's market with all the finances and the housing crazy stuff, to sell the house and to just go to an apartment and do school for the next 2 years, to sell the house and to quit a pretty good career. So I'm a man who used to need a tremendous amount of structure. I was very, very organized. I liked to have schedules. I liked to know exactly where all of my money was, where it was going, how was I going to pay for stuff. And I wanted all of that to be something that I figured out and that I planned. So I would, all through high school I worked, all through college I worked. I paid my own way through college. Bought all of my own cars. I worked very hard for the stuff that I had. And I think that's a very good thing to do. I think everyone should do that, especially in high school. I think in high school it's very important that you get a job and that you work hard to earn. Like, if you want to have freedom, like say you're becoming an adult, senior year of high school, entering college, and you want to have freedom, take on some extra responsibility when you want that freedom. And I think those also kind of go hand in hand. Once you start to get freedom, you also get responsibility. I've always been like that. When my wife and I started dating, I said, I'm not going to propose until I'm out of college and done, because I think it's financially responsible to pay for college first, graduate, get my salary job, basically get out of college and get my job, make some money, and then let's have a wedding and then let's get married. And so we did that. Like, we dated through college, and then I graduated, I got my job, boom, we got married, we bought a house. And I mean, I just kind of maintained that mindset. I figured it got me this far. Like, I'm married, I've got a house, like, I'm doing good for myself, so why not just keep going? And then first kid came, and it was like, ooh, Like it was not planned. Was not trying to have a kid. Had a kid, and um, at the time it was brutal. But you guys know that because I talked about that a lot in the first video. And if you don't know that, I would just go back and watch that part of the first video. Um, and after that first kid, I realized, man, I can't basically be prepared and planned for everything. And it really frustrated me and it made me really angry. And so it made me really kind of almost reject, almost like rebel against fatherhood and against adulthood. Um, and I basically doubled down on I'm just going to continue to try to prep and to prepare and to plan our life entirely. Where's our money going? What is our plans for the weekend? Like I wanted to know everything so I could prepare ahead of time and be set and ready to go. And it felt like in my life God kept pushing and challenging that in me, and I hated it. I was super frustrated with it. But obviously, it was for the best because when God gives you a challenge, it's to grow and strengthen you and to challenge you. I mean, obviously, it's called a challenge. Um, so that happened, and then we had our second kid, unplanned. Um, you know, like they tell you when you get married, it's like, hey, like just make sure you're careful because like unplanned pregnancies do happen. And then me being like a cocky kid who's just about to get married, being like, yeah, but like I'm not gonna get pregnant right away, or my wife's not gonna get pregnant right away. Come on, and then boom, like baby after baby, just back to back. So it was a lot. It was a lot of pressure. And again, you'd think after the first kid, I learned my lesson, but kind of the same thing after the second kid. It was just the same. Like, I need to make more money. I got to just focus on my career more. And um, yeah, it was just super hard. And so I know this sounds similar to the first video, but I'm trying to go more in depth into kind of painting the background into why this move was so drastic, why this change was so drastic and also so necessary. After the second kid, as you guys have heard from the first video, I started to get just very, very sad and very, very depressed because I felt that I had no purpose and no meaning. I would wake up at 7 o'clock, get ready for work, get to work by 8, work until about 5, get home around. I'd work until 4:30 or 5, get home sometime around 5 or 5:30. Then the second I'm home, it's just you're playing with the kiddos, you're trying to keep them occupied, you're trying to make dinner, then you're trying to get the kiddos ready for bed, but also give them attention still. Then you get them to bed, and now it's you got to eat or you've got to clean up the kitchen, you've got to do laundry, whatever it is. And I just didn't really have time for anything that I enjoyed, and I'm a huge, huge hobbyist. I love hobbies. I've got many of them. So um, having that all of a sudden kind of like stripped away and taken away was just very, very difficult on me. And I just kept declining, kept declining, kept declining. And every time I would decline, I would double down on the like, well, in high school and college, I would just be planned. And I would have a plan and I would follow that plan and it would work out for the most part. So I was like, I just got to have a plan for this. And so kept having a plan wouldn't work out, get sad. Have a plan wouldn't work out, get sad. Just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And um, yeah, so that's what was going on with my life and my career at that point. Now, the school and why we're here. It's a Bible school that I've known about my whole life. I have connections to, and um, I've always had a lot of like resentment build up to the school, and that's from some other personal stuff that's happened in the past. Some like one of my buddies came here and just had a rough experience. So then like he would say something negative, and then I already having kind of a negative opinion of the school would just like kind of add that to the list and be like, aha, even another reason to not like this place. Then something else would come up and be like, aha, even another reason to not like this place. And so, um, I hit this point in my career that I applied probably to 15 different jobs or so, and I didn't get a call back on a single application. And this is after having almost 5 years of IT experience, and I wasn't even applying for very pristine positions. I was applying for just like other like IT support positions and just nothing. And so that also just like completely just tanked me, basically. It was like, wow, man, like I've been building a career for almost 5 years now, and I can't even get another job in this field. Like, what is happening? And that also made me very angry at the Lord, because I felt like I've been I thought I've been following what you had for me. And why is this not working? Because my job also was declining, and there was risk of me losing my job. And so it was like, man, I might lose my job. I've got a house, I've got a wife, I've got kids. Like, what? What? Oh, come on. Like, cut me some slack. Give me another job. Something. Throw me a bone. And having the resentment built up to the school, I kind of always had the prayer of like, God, like, I will follow you. If you call me somewhere, I'll go. But then in my mind, I always had that, just like that little whisper of like, just please don't be that Bible school. And and so I'd pray. It just kept happening. Like another week, I'd send another two applications out, and then just nothing. And I'd be like, God, it's like, just show me. I don't even care what job it is at this point. Just give me another job. Show me if it's a different career, whatever it is. Just don't be the Bible school, please. And sure enough, I hit this just rock bottom where my wife and I were just it was just like stupid bickering, but it was bickering. I was just getting so like resentful and just angry all the time that I couldn't be happy around my kids, couldn't be happy with my wife because we were fighting, and work was going horribly. I was getting questioned for a lot of things, and there was just the pressure every single day of like I might lose my job, and then I might lose my house, and I don't know what's going to happen with my family. And so I hit this. My wife and I remember it so clearly, but it was such a stupid fight, but such a big fight. And we were both sitting on the couch, honestly, just crying because we were just so like defeated. Um, Both just unbelievably stressed and just like hurting under the weight of our responsibilities and not knowing how to like support each other. It was like we could only know how to like the only way I can describe it is like we only knew how to like burden each other with our frustrations, but we didn't know how to like take the burden from each other. It was like we were just piling on top of each other. Like we would be frustrated and then we would dump our frustrations on the other person and then they would just do the same thing. But it's like we didn't understand how to communicate and how to work through those frustrations. It was just like I am so frustrated, and so you would almost not take it out on the other person, but you'd like put it on them basically. And just this one night we hit this just breaking point where we were like I was like I'm normally a very talkative guy. I'm, a, I'm I don't want to brag. I'm normally very like articulate in how I talk and how I describe things. I really enjoy conversations. I mean, hence the channel Good Faith Talks. I love doing this. And yeah, we just we hit this point in this conversation that I was like stuttering and shaking. Like I was sitting on the couch and I remember I was like rocking back and forth. My hands were like shaking because I was like I literally just like snapped. I was like I can't, I can't. And I just like I couldn't fathom. I couldn't comprehend what was happening. I was like I don't get it. I think it was a combination of just pure like just so much frustration, so much sadness, and so much anger just boiled into this one moment. And I just sat there and I was like, I can't do this, Shay. Like, I can't live like this. I'm every day, I'm waking up and I'm dreading my job. I get home and I'm dreading getting home. And I go to sleep and I can't sleep because I'm anxious about my job and then I'm anxious about coming home. And I was like, I can't live like this anymore. I can't. And we both just broke down because we were like, what are we gonna do? What are we supposed to do? We've got two kids, we have a house we have to pay for, and I'm at the risk of losing my job possibly. Um, and I remember it was such a moment of just like intense emotion that I finally just was like, okay, God, can't do it. I can't. Like I want to do this. I want to do this on my own. I want to provide for my family. I want to be a good husband. I want to be a good father, but I'm failing in every area and I can't live like this anymore. And I finally was like, okay, if that school is it, if that's where you want me, just help show me that. And I can't I've been thinking about how to make this video. That's another reason why this video has taken so long. I wanted to figure out how to describe um, the what I felt in that moment, and I think the only way really is um, it was almost like the purest form of just peace. I all of a sudden, um, from shaking with anger and sadness and crying, I just felt a complete calmness. And it felt like it was God being like, finally, like you did your thing, and I wanted you here. And this is the place you said you wouldn't go. And you're finally going to consider it. And you'll finally feel that. You'll finally feel your calling, your purpose. And um, literally, that was the moment where I looked at my wife and I was like, I think we need to go do this. And she was floored. Like she just like looked at me. She had no idea what to say because she's heard so many mouthfuls of just like, oh man, this place, it's just like all this frustration built up, and she was shocked. So yeah, we were just like, all right, let's just start looking into it. And man, when I tell you, like when you're, I truly like, if you're following what the Lord has, if you're willing to really just give up and just trust, like, hey man, like lead it, like you gave me life, you put me on this earth, I'm supposed to glorify you, so show me how. He'll show you, he will, but you have to be willing to do what you don't want to do. Um, Hence the I didn't want to go here. Here I am, and um, my whole family has been shocked at the change in me, in my character, in my attitude, the change in my family, everything. Um, we decided to sell the house. House sold obnoxiously fast. We didn't know where we were gonna go, and boom, place was available for us to stay for the entire month without paying rent, which was a tremendous blessing. And just so you know too, because I'm not trying to be like, oh, it's a free house. My mom and dad opened up my bedroom to us again, which was crazy, crazy sweet. My little sister moved out so that I could go back into our room, and it was crazy sweet. Thank you so much, mom and dad. I could not thank you enough for that. It was incredibly generous of you guys. And an amazing time. It was so fun being able to like live back at home. It was weird doing it with my wife and kids now because last time I was there, I was singled with no kids. Weird, single with no kids. Um, but yeah, so we did that for a month and a half, and then the school opened up the apartment for us, and even like that was even so cool because I was concerned like, man, I hope we can get into the school early so we can get like adjusted to being here, and I don't really know like what the housing's going to look like. And so I was talking to the housing coordinator, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, I already have your guys' apartments figured out. We're going to give you guys 2 units so you guys can have a room for your kiddos and then a room for you guys, and you can have like a full kitchen and living room. And I was like, man, that is just so generous. And also an area where I was a little bit stressed about. I was a little bit anxious, and I knew like we were already taking this huge leap of faith, so I knew like God's going to provide, but still like I let a little bit of anxiety build. And boom, like yet again, God was God, like we remained faithful, and God in return was faithful, and he took care of it. Genuinely, these last 2 months I think have been maybe like the best 2 months of my life. Um, I feel so alive doing this. I feel so driven. I've I've started losing weight. I'm down like almost 30 pounds, which has been a huge struggle of mine my whole life. I started going to the gym again. I've been reading a ton. All of these things that I used to be like, man, I'd love to do that, but one day, but I can't. I'm too busy right now. And now it's like I have this free time, and I'm like, I need to use this right, not in a way where it's going to be my plan, but in a way that's going to glorify God. And that's also a reason why I want to do these videos. Um, I've always loved making videos. I've always loved having conversations with people, and I think this is going to be super cool. Even this first video, it's got 21 views. That's so encouraging to me to think that like because I was thinking about it and I was like I'd be nervous to stand in a room and talk in front of 21 people. That'd be kind of scary. But it's and yes, a good amount of those views are from family and friends, but the feedback they've been giving me has been so sweet and so encouraging that I'm like, man, this is awesome. Like, it is so cool to see what God's already done with this. And so that's basically the whole thought behind this channel is all my videos. I'm just going to talk to you guys and I'm going to share, sometimes they might be a little more formal. There might be some more topics here and there. I don't know if you guys can see this knee. I'm going to pop it down because that might look weird. There might be some formal topics here and there, might be actual more like scripted videos. But I think for now, especially with school starting soon, I kind of want to just sit here and talk to you and just share my heart and um and I guess hopefully encourage that, as I and my wife are faithful and just following God's guide, that would encourage you somehow and speak to you. Um, I said it in the first video, but um, it's so cool to live your life thinking that every action is just to bring God glory. It completely changes your perspective. It completely changes your outlook. And I would really encourage you guys just to even think about it. Just think about like what what's what am I doing daily? How am I pursuing God daily? Because once you start, like it's a beautiful experience. It's a beautiful feeling. Um, yeah, I had something. I had a good thing too, and that's what's frustrating. I had this thought where I was like, this would be cool to talk about, and I lost it completely. Anyways, again, this was supposed to be a 10-minute video. I think I've been doing this for about 20-ish minutes. I couldn't even tell you. Man, you guys are in for a ride. If you guys stick around, you're in for a ride. These videos are going to be all over the place. I'm going to have to get some structure in here because this could be, yeah. Anyways, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there. I just want to say I super appreciate you watching the first video. And if you haven't, like, that's cool. If you don't want to watch it, don't. If you do, it's just me talking about kind of who I am, basically. And if you did watch the first and that's why you're here for the second, welcome back. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope this encourages you somehow. Um, it's a beautiful thing to follow the Lord, and I would encourage you to. So if you want to keep up with the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It does help a tremendous amount, even if it's a little bit of encouragement just for me. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I hope you guys all have an awesome day, night, evening, morning, wherever you're at and whatever you're doing. All right. See you later.